welcome back to my channel. Happy to have you here. Let's get another reading for the collective. I'll be using Vox Arcana Tarot. I also have a couple other tarot decks out here today that I might gravitate towards. I also have the Dreamscape Oracle. Okay guys, go ahead and grab your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever it is that you need to get cozy. I've decided that I may start doing more pick-a-cards and less of the collective messages, but I am still meditating on that. So if you prefer one or the other, let me know down below in the comments. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest for your neighbor. What isn't for you is likely for them. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what is going on in the ether. I have coffee with me this morning. I'm like a week out from being sick, but my voice is lagging. It's having a hard time coming back, although I do feel better. So you guys are getting the rasp. It's really funny. Yeah, okay, here's 417 hertz. With my tuning fork. Go ahead and start with some dice. See who I'm reading for. And then we will dive deeper in. Okay, I love these tuning forks, guys. I also decided to start hitting them with a different mallet, so it's not as abrupt or like a noise when I hit them. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's going on. Collective messages. What's going on in the collective? Let's see. First house, fifth house, eighth house, Cancer, and the moon. Well, in Western astrology, we did just have a Cancer full moon last week. The number 158 could be significant. Sagittarius, second house, Venus. Okay, so this first house, fifth house, eighth house, I'm seeing it kind of like a conjunction or a trine. You could literally have a trine to your first, fifth, and eighth house, or Spirit is speaking collectively about this trine that's kind of being made for all of us, all right? So this full moon in Cancer is bringing this interesting energy. Okay, so 1, 5, 8. So that energy is the number 14, which is the number 5. So this 5 is really significant. This reminds me of, so the number 5 with 8 coming out is like changes that we can't change, and change that restructures our identity, how we relate to the unknown, restructuring our identity and how we relate to ourselves. Okay, the 5 is acting as a confirmation of being in the state of transition. I'm seeing like the 5 being in the middle is like we're transitioning from 1 to 8, and I'm seeing it in this sense of like going from maybe feeling like we understand the external to not understanding it whatsoever, to actually being within the unknown. within that space of endless possibility and potential. Okay, so the number 5 is speaking to me, and especially over here with Sagittarius in the second house. Be careful how change abruptly can shift your being into fight or flight and get you to, I posted this on my Instagram last night, but I said, like, be careful what tunnels your fear leads you down. Okay, and when we're in fight or flight, fear can be a driving force for a lot of us. And fear is necessary, and we use it at specific points of manifestation as the empowering motivator that it is. But when we overuse fear, we go into this energy of burnout and in things that are not sustainable. So when I see the Sagittarius with the second house energy too, it's what that old Bible verse, it's coming through because I grew up super Christian, guys. I'm not anymore, but I was in that religious life, and I remember that Bible verse, like, as for me and my house, we serve the Lord. It's giving that when I'm looking at this Sagittarius in the second house, and like I'm seeing people reverting back to old ways out of fear. It's reminding me of, like, 2025, when this reading is taking place, is a year of the 9. And this is, it's like last year was an 8 year, okay? And so that revealed to us the darkness and the unknown. And so what we do now that we're in a 9 year is what is now coming to an ending and a completion because the unknown has been revealed. But anytime we get near to, you can look at history and see this proven. Anytime we get near to an ending of an age, doomsday mindset kicks in. Especially when the earth be earthing and acting up and weather patterns start looking different. Okay, I always want to remind people, the earth was here before us, and the earth will be here long after us. Okay, the earth is not the problem. The earth can take care of herself. We have created man-made problems. Okay, so we turn to man-made solutions normally to solve them. Okay, which is the karma of it all, to recognize the power and the endless possibility of what it means to be human on earth. Okay, but when a time of extreme change is happening, honestly, you could say every 4 years, especially in America, when the elections come around, people get so triggered because of the past trauma that is around having your power taken away, that a lot of people revert back to religious programming or beliefs that they maybe once actually started to question or walk away from. You start to find out deeply subconsciously what you believe when fear enters the picture, right? And you either use it to just observe and see what those beliefs are, or it tanks you back into the beliefs and you're unconsciously just there. Okay, so you either have that awakened state of observation or you don't. All right, I see this Venus here over near Saturn in the second house, and I just keep hearing the word deception. So be careful. Venus is also known in the night sky as Lucifer, the morning star. And so there's an energy around Venus. It's like Venus rules material wealth, right? And material wealth can either expand your consciousness and be a tool for you, or it can tank you, and it can bring out all of the vulnerability and scarcity and beliefs that maybe you have around not being able to sustain wealth or not being deserving of it, and so you don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so there's this energy of, it's like, you know, I feel like that's why people are saying there's like a new wave of fame coming, of people in integrity that have worked for it, and it's like going to be a whole different vibe. But, you know, people are just saying that. But it's different because it's different from someone who accidentally gets famous. You know, a lot of people who accidentally got famous end up just trashing their fame because they don't know how to handle, they don't have the structure built for the capacity. You know, it's like throwing an event and you expect 50 people to show up, and all of a sudden there's 5,000 people lined up out of the door. That's either going to like inflame your ego so large that you don't know how to come back from it. It's like a high, or you're going to remain neutral and accept that this is just now the time where you have more influence, and you'll continue to ground your energy. I'm seeing with the energy of Cancer and the moon here, though, that there's a lot of, like, I keep seeing the tide moving back in my mind's eye, and when the tide goes out, we can see all of the shells that the tide has washed up, and not just the shells, but the trash. Okay, and not just beautiful, pretty things, but dead things as well. And so there's a lot being revealed with the pushing and pulling of the tides, and every single cycle I'm getting this download is going to reveal more, because it's like once it goes back out again, then comes in, it's bringing even more different things, because once it goes out, it swirls around with the source and then brings things back, and it's all in perfect time. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here, guys. So be how to deal with feeling in fight or flight, and feeling like reverting back to old ways of being. It's the energy of feeling backed into a corner, guys, right? It's like when you don't know what else to trust, you go back to the thing that was the most familiar, at least, you know? And maybe it's not about the actual energy of trustworthiness, but it's like going back to what's familiar. But I'm seeing with the Sagittarius too in the second house, it's like nothing is wrong. You're never in the wrong place. Even when you feel like you could be backtracking, there's still like that tide message. There's golden nuggets. There's like shells being found inside of this. And some of that is realizing there's a past version of yourself that needs love. So there's these past beliefs that are coming to the surface now, but they're kind of at war with, like, because beliefs exist in the subconscious mind, guys, and the subconscious mind is the body. And so our body a lot of times controls us, you know. That's one of the reasons, like, I personally don't drink. That's because whenever I do, the number one thing I always say is, like, I feel like I'm not in control. My body is in control. And, like, my body is just taking me wherever it wants to go. And so I keep making decisions that are not good for me, but that's what my body wants, right? And because the body is functioning as a map to tell us what we truly believe about ourselves, okay? So that could be a sign for someone who's maybe trying to put something or a lifestyle behind them, and just looking for more information and encouragement in that. But there's always something positive to be found in the negative, okay? The yin yang symbol, that symbolism is that explains the law of duality, that explains as above so below, as within so without, that explains polarity. I just got chills, okay? So no matter how in the darkness you are, there's always a bit of light, and no matter how in the light you are, there's always a bit of darkness. That's how it is. We live in a realm of existence that is dual in nature, okay? This is, I don't know why, guys, this is like all coming through philosophical, but that's why we have to be careful with the kind of stuff we listen to. Again, with that doomsday stuff, because anything that's all light or all darkness is just not truth. It's not grounded in reality. Like, I had someone a couple weeks ago tell me, because they listened to some psychic person on the internet say that the darkness no longer exists and there's no more darkness on our planet. And I just wanted to laugh, although I respect this person, so I didn't. But I did tell them, like, that's just not the case. Like, we have a sun that shines for 12 hours and a moon, darkness that comes out for 12 hours. It's the physical, like, rhythm of our planet to be in darkness and to be in light and to exist in this polarity. Light, every day when it shines, casts a shadow. Okay. So, and in the darkness, if you turn a light on, it absorbs and eats the darkness. Okay. So we have to be careful about some kind of things that we're listening to. Although they might have like conscious language in them, they can be packaged really pretty, but not have anything grounded within them. Okay. So anything that's kind of like it may not sound like a doomsday message, like, oh, the mothership has landed and the light is returning and the 144,000 this and da. Okay, all of that are real things and real concepts that everyone is just trying to figure out. It's like the philosopher's stone kind of thing. We're all trying to figure it out. We all want to be a part of it. We all want to think that we know. And at the end of the day, it's not what we think it is. And anything that's trying to get you to cast a physical, important part of life out for you to be in its belief system is set and destined for systemic collapse. Okay. So if you're existing in a belief system that's just like all light, no darkness, it can't sustain itself, because our physical realm is built on light and darkness. A seed that you plant in the ground physically cannot grow if not first it is submerged in darkness itself. Okay, guys? So this doesn't negate the light and the power of the light, but we can't spiritually bypass science and reality, okay? And this is coming from somebody who grew up like in a household where it was like, if I got injured, you guys might relate to this. Like when I used to get injured as a kid, I was in such a religious atmosphere that my whole family would go to like praying before they would take medical action. Okay. And I feel like that's common for a lot of people who grew up super religious, but I'm using that as a metaphor of like, there's some, like, you need to know where your control ends and begins, and the universe's control ends and begins. Okay. And I'm not also negating the power of miracles either, because like I said, I am a hypnotherapist. I study healing and the power of the mind. But miracles are also a science. So they're not some magical thing that's unexplainable. All right, guys. So let's dive into the tarot and see what comes through, guys. All of this is being revealed. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, in the coming years, you guys, everyone, we're all going to see a rise in metaphysics. And a lot of it right now is coming through people rising to their true purpose, speaking their true messages, being authentically themselves. Because the more authentic people we have that are weaving a story of wisdom and not just regurgitating knowledge, then we can tell what is integral. Okay. But like with psychics, like I just said, like some psychics are not integral and they're just saying whatever. Okay. And then we also have the mental health aspect of spirituality that we really have to talk about. Like I got on TikTok the other day and I saw 4 videos about spiritual people who were once doing a channeling practice, but now a week after seeing their channeling videos, they're like, hi guys, sorry, I was in spiritual psychosis. Like, this is real stuff. that we're learning how to be able to recognize the spirituality that is innately within everything and not escape into some false spiritual program. Okay, but when you awaken your third eye, especially if you awaken your third eye before your other grounded base chakras, where does that energy have to go? Where does all of that information have to go? It has to be let out somewhere. And so you can feel like, and this is a trigger warning, guys, this is a deep message here about this like collective timeline transition. Okay, guys. But like, where does all that energy have to go? Playing this again for you guys. You can feel at times when you have a spiritual revelation that you're meant to tell everyone about it and whatnot. You learn along the spiritual path that when you're truly awakened, once you have an incredible download of sorts, it's time to rest and integrate. Like, you don't go from conceiving a baby to birthing the baby. You go from conception to gestation to then birth. And the gestation requires a lot of rest and preparation. And then the birth itself brings another state of rest. So looking at that as a metaphor for creation and manifestation is understanding how all of this energy works. Okay. That Venus energy of deception that I was picking up. 222. This could come in the form of a relationship. This came over by the second house. So all things having to do with the home, which relationships make up the home. And sometimes keep a home together depending on how finances are accrued and split between a household itself. Okay, so there could be anxiety coming in the form of feeling like you can't trust some sort of energy or relationship that's trying to build a home. Could be that something you're seeing in others or experiencing with yourself. I feel like inevitably you're meant to turn into trusting the unknown and ground yourself, then approach the anxious thought. Don't go in the spiral and then ground yourself. You need to, once you realize there's the anxiety there, ground yourself, do what you need to do. Go outside, take a walk, take a breath, eat a snack, whatever it is you need, and then approach the anxiety from a place of wholeness and fulfillment. Okay, because that's the patterns that we have to learn and reprogram into how we deal with change. Okay. The Hanged Man keeps coming through. Hold your horses, sit still. You know, when you're like in line or like you're a kid and you're like waiting for something, you're like watching the time tick down and your mom's like, hold your horses. That's you guys. Y'all are like, I just want, it's like when you're waiting on your food at a restaurant. You're like, I put in my order, spirit. And you're like watching every person around you come out and get theirs first. What? I don't know why that just, it got me because I relate to that so much, guys. And this is a collective message, so I'm not excluded from all this. Let me get a sip of that coffee. Yeah, I'm not excluded from this. This is all... It's so funny. It's like... Specifically, I'm getting like, I told you, like, this is spirit. Like, I told you in springtime, you'll see the changes. But it's like not springtime yet. And you're like, okay, like watching the time, like any day now. This is giving like... Like, I know what's about to happen. Like, I feel like everyone who I'm talking to, like, we know we're meant to be in the Hanged Man right now. We're meant to be looking at... We want to be in the next step, but this is the next step to the next step. Like I said, that 5 energy. And so we are just being here with gratitude, okay? Giving thanks for the new perspectives that are being shown, realizing who else around us is also in this waiting period. Yeah. Ace of Cups reversed. Leaving behind this fucking belief that you are a savior, or it's the healer trope. It's like, what are all those videos going around now? I healed so much that I stopped wanting to be other people's healer. It's that kind of energy. Your most healed version of you is not that which seeks to heal others. It's that which is doing the thing you love the most and being completely present inside of that. Okay. This is like, no, like, I'm not open for business. No, I'm not. That's not for sale. Or, oh no, actually, like, I'm going on vacation, or my books are closed. Like, interesting. You got enough on your plate. 2 of Pentacles. You got enough to handle, and you gotta look good while you're doing it. I haven't read this book, but it's on my book list, but it's coming through. It's called like Daughter Drink This Water or something. All of this is like, yeah, like what I was saying earlier with that doomsday energy. It's like the evangelical type of energy of like, people need to believe like I believe in order to have peace or get to where I think I'm going, you know. And it can be with anything. It doesn't have to be just religion. It could be with a diet, literally. People are so evangelical with diets. It's like actually insane. But I'm seeing it like this. Actually, I'm just going to live in my purpose and be this divine, magical person and allow that to attract things instead of like showing the world that they need to heal. It's like actually accepting the world as it is and you just doing your own healing, and then that just attracts the people that are meant for you. Like I said, books are closed. I'm hearing no handouts. This is giving someone who's been working very hard on something. So you don't have the time to get lost in like you don't have the time to be out here giving people that think you can heal them all your energy. No, like, we're so past that. No one can heal you. You can only heal yourself. Even if you are a healer, that person is just opening up a space and guiding you and giving you information and energy that allows you to be receptive to the energy of healing. It has nothing to do with a healer healing you. Okay? So a lot of you know that, and you are the healer, and some of you just need to hear that. Yeah, some of you need to heal that. Four of Pentacles reversed. I was about to say that. It's like something is taking your money and your resources. Either something is taking your money or resources, or you are like, you are not about to take my money and my resources. And also that includes time. You all have heard that saying, time is money. What is your true value? Do you charge it for your true value? Is that triggering other people around you? You can't hate those who decide to get up out of the mud. Like, I've said this before in another reading, but jealousy is really important the same way fear is, like I was saying earlier. But jealousy and envy are really important energies to learn about what you truly want. And so don't fear people being jealous or envious of you. Take it as confirmation that you worked hard to get where you are. Be weary of rooms where everybody looks the same, talks the same, does the same things. Not just, when I say rooms, I mean like communities, collectives of people. If everyone looks the same and is doing the same thing and all offering the same thing, I would steer clear of that. I'm talking about workplace. I'm talking about community gathering at some Facebook event you were looking to go to meet people. Anything. Be aware of the energy around you, and if you're walking into rooms that reflect who you want and know yourself to be, stare deeply in the sacred mirror, allowing it to reveal itself to you. Don't be afraid of the unconsciousness. I'm specifically getting a message about like females in male roles or male leads. It's like, so this isn't necessarily for everybody, but it's like you're doing tricks and you're making it look so easy and effortless, like you were always meant to be there, and it's putting this interesting energy in a space of insecurity. Like the people whose role you took or who are in opposition to you, for some of you it's like you're a female and that's a male, like you have a role that is now the role that person had, and you're realizing how powerful you are now that you've achieved this, and now this person is insecure, but it's like you don't even have the time to sit around and like grieve how much work you had to put in to get here. It's like you just have been working to get here, and you're not going to let this weird insecurity get you down. You don't even like have the time for it. Like you're busy doing the dang thing. Okay, because there's this difference in passion and performance. I'm specifically getting this energy that's like, don't take that from me. Yeah, whoa. Someone feels like you took something from them. Someone feels like something was taken from them by... It's like being beaten in your own game type of energy. Someone feels like they were beat in their own game. So that's for all of us in whatever way it resonates. Because it's not specific, but it's... Oh, here, what's this? Knight of Swords. There will be confirmation of this energy that I'm talking about in the form of some communication. It doesn't have to be verbal. It could be like you seeing some social media post or whatever it may be. But I'm hearing kryptonite. I'm hearing this is the opposing force, but I'm hearing like this like you're so much better than me. Why are you my weak? Why are you my weakness? Like, why are you my kryptonite? Like, we're not even on the same level. It's like someone is deeply questioning how they even... It's insecurity. Like, you realized you're waking up to your worth, even though this energy is now, looks like it's transitioning to be in the past or is actually in the past now. And so now that you're waking up to it, you triggered everyone that was or is in your field like that to start questioning their worth. Triggered when I see your face. Triggered, I am not okay. Triggered. You need to stay out of my way. What? Everyone's getting triggered. Okay. It's like sometimes we have like the trigger is like a spark that sets things in motion, okay? We have to see them that way. We can't just continue to get icked out by triggers. Can't confuse icks and triggers, okay? As if we avoid all of our triggers on either side, we're just avoiding seeing ourselves in our wholeness. Some of you guys are scared to be the sassy, like all out version of yourself. And I don't know, you guys just need some sort of spark or like newness. It's like you need to learn something else about yourself. Like maybe it is like changing the way you dress or changing the way that you do your hair or finding a different aesthetic. It just the way that you present, like maybe you like literally rebrand, but there's something about feeling more confident in this version of you, like being like, come on, triggers. like it's giving like the day you go break up, but that crusty musty, you look the best you've ever looked, you know? It's like that type of energy. It's like, you're not gonna get me down. I know what's on, I know what I ordered, and I know it's gonna be coming to my table soon. Oh my gosh. I just saw an image of somebody who does a lot of things alone and they listen to music in their headphones while they're doing things. Be open to not shutting off the world entirely like that, because there is somebody you could meet that is in a random place, like a stranger, literally, that you want to be open to. You want your energy field to be open, so don't close yourself off. Okay, so if you're manifesting new connections, don't have headphones in and walk like with a really closed off aura everywhere you go. Okay, make eye contact and be excited to meet strangers the same way you would want someone to be excited to meet you with everything that you know that you are. Okay, so that's specific. King of Swords. King of Wands reversed. Some of you guys... No, I'm not going to say it like that. There's a shift happening. There's a shift happening that is like... It's like King of Wands reversed into King of Swords upright. There's no longer an attraction towards flaunting type of energy. Like, let me show you what I got. There's an attraction towards a subtlety of intelligence, of spiritual intuition, of someone who knows who they are, of someone... It's like giving Game of Thrones, literally like the throne in Game of Thrones, where it's like surrounded by sharpness. Okay, it's like being... It's showing me it's like being attracted to peace instead of like chaos, right? It's being attracted to air instead of fire. It's a shift that's happening right now collectively. It's showing me like this also an attraction towards specifically masculine energy that is at peace with itself. And it's not overly performative. King of Wands reversed. Okay. It's like, metaphorically, it's like going from dating like a gym bro who's like pumping creatine and all they care about is how they look, to someone who like makes music to channel their emotions and maybe writes poetry and takes long silent walks in the park. Hey. I am not hating on that. I'm loving it. Giving you guys some of that tuning fork vibes. Yeah, it's like going from this, because there's a lion here in this King of Wands card. It's like going from this like... It's like going from triggered to peace. It's going from like unstable nervous system to stable nervous system, okay? It's because it's like with the King of Swords, you realized how protected you were mentally. Now you're protected. You're strapped up mentally, so you're not having to physically, King of Wands, overexert some sort of protection. Very interesting. Oh, bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. Ooh, that imagery in that one is really intense, though. This could just be a time where we're all seeing everybody's pain and everybody's betrayal. We're all processing pain and betrayal. So we have to have a lot of grace for those around us. It's like the collective could be going through some mood swings type of energy, and sometimes like you never know what one trigger could do to another person. So we have to have compassion when people are isolating or retreating. We just need to trust in things, trusting in our own intuition. We are the hanged man here with Ace of Cups reversed. So don't go out of your way because you're feeling an energy of needing to fix a situation. We have to allow people to go through their own karma, to go through their own emotional awakenings. And when people retreat, we have to respect that. The same way when we retreat, we have to respect that and have to respect the journey it takes to come out of hiding, to come out of isolation. you know, all of it for the better. But it's very hard to watch any person, especially with all of that's going on online, any person from around the world in different areas, going through things. It's hard to, like, how do you focus on yourself when you just got on your phone and you saw in 15 different places so many terrible things happening, you know? Like, how do you separate your pain from other people's pain? Or how do you make boundaries and be able to hold opposites while seeing other people might be going through something really hard? But how do I focus on myself? A lot of it is like the core of this message, but again, with that 5, the 158. Let me look up the meaning of the number 158. But what I was saying with that is, with that 5, we're in a transition time. Like, for instance, like when a woman is in labor, if she's having a really tough labor, like you can't just be like, chill. You know, the baby's gotta come out. It's gonna be effing painful. It's probably the most painful thing this person will ever feel in their entire life. Okay, but if you're on the sidelines, all you can do is cheer this person on, give positive energy, even though it's so painful. And like, you know, when sometime, like that common trope of like a clip of a man seeing a birth for the first time, or like their wife giving birth and then they faint. It's like, we can't be fainting out here when people need us, y'all. We're in a transitional time, so we have to learn how to hold space, hold opposites, and honor the reality of what's going on, while still having integrity and individuality and boundaries. It's very clear. Angel number 158. What freaking site do I choose here? This one. 𝚙𝚊𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚎. I trust it. Okay. Okay. Angel number 158 can be separated into the individual core numbers 1, 5, and 8, of course. 1 represents independence, signifies moving forward, and indicates new beginnings. Okay, I'm looking for the whole number, y'all. Okay. I thought this was gonna be the site, but sometimes you know, that's what I'm saying. What did I say earlier with, like, you gotta do your research, or like, you can't just accept anything. Did that come through in this one? 158. If you have been seeing this number frequently, it is important to understand its meaning significance. Okay. What? It is a sign that you're on the right path. Your guardian angels are encouraging you to take a leap of faith and pursue new opportunities that will lead to growth and prosperity. This number also suggests that some unexpected changes may come your way, but you should not be afraid and trust the process. What did I say? Why am I even looking this up? Why am I looking all this up? Couldn't tell you. I thought I'd find something that I didn't say and intuit on my own, from the math. Okay. Is angel number 158 a manifestation number? Yes. This means that if you focus on your attention and energy on your goals, dreams, and desires, you will attract the positive outcome. What did I say? Okay. 158 symbolizes spiritual growth, self-discovery, and inner transformation. You may feel called to explore different spiritual practices. This will also suggest that you have a strong connection with the angelic realm, that your angels are supporting you and guiding you on the right path. I feel like I still didn't click the right page I was looking for, guys. Hold on. Suggest that you take the time to meditate and listen to your intuitive messages, as the angels are guiding you through important changes. It's a message from your angels that the positive affirmations, visualizations, and actions you have taken will manifest your desired results. What did I say? You put in the order, it's coming. Just because the waiter is bringing, the server is bringing someone else their food first doesn't mean anything. Okay. Staying positive and express gratitude. Yep. This number shows us to consider your options and take a definite step. Okay, that's all I'm looking at in there. I feel like I intuited all those messages. Okay, let's get some oracle for the collective. This is a really good, wholesome message, guys. The gift. This card is interesting because it's all about Pandora's box. So on the surface level, this card could be resembling the need to give gratitude, like I just said with that 158, every day, to see the present moment as the gift that it is. But in all honesty, when we're honoring the work and the meanings that go into the creation of these oracle decks by artists and writers and philosophers and spiritualists, the gift in this deck talks about Pandora's box. It's like something was opened. You have no idea what's going to be in it. Like I was saying about that shift into trusting in the unknown. Sometimes you just have to trust in the unknown, even though it's wild and scary. Is that not literally like a message that comes through in every tarot reading or every psychic reading or intuitive reading out there? You probably will never hear one that doesn't have that in it. Why else would we see a psychic except to get a glimpse into the unknown itself? Okay, but caution and don't be hasty. Okay, don't be hasty. I'm keeping it broad. I'm seeing an offer. I'm seeing it like this. I got a metaphor for it. You know, like an artist who's just amazing, like a singer, and they have been working so hard on something, and then they get to a place where they think in their mind is where they wanted to get, but then they accidentally or consciously sign themselves to a label, and they lose all the rights to their art, and they're now just like a puzzle piece or a pawn in a different game than they once were playing, when it was actually about the art. Okay, so be careful. Ground and then address the situation. Know your worth and then address the situation. Don't look to the outside to show it to you. I'm just seeing a lot of tests of integrity. Whoa. Card flew out onto the ground, and it's the serpent. What did I say, guys? The goal is not to avoid being encountering the serpent, okay? It's to learn how to respond, like to be a snake charmer, right? The goal is not to figure out, oh, there's snakes in the grass, I'm not going to walk in the grass. F no, I got to walk in this grass to get where I'm going. Okay, so it's learning how to conduct yourself. You know exactly what it reminds me of is, you know, in the Dune movies and in the books, how he learns that specific walking pattern to walk on the sand so he doesn't awaken the sandworms, because He can't just not walk in that sand. It's literally a part of his destiny to walk all over that bitch. Okay, so it's like, it's not about avoiding. I don't do readings to get you to avoid things, all right? That's not why I'm here. If y'all choose to do that, that's just what y'all choose to do with the energy. But the Death Mother card is on the bottom. There's energy that it's coming close because you're more grounded. And the more grounded you get, the more safer it feels to come up close to you. It's something I wrote on my Instagram. Again, stop banishing things you don't understand. Don't just banish and rebuke things because you don't understand them or you feel icked. 555. Okay, 5555 could be significant. All right. Learn to be so rooted in integrity that you could walk into a room full of snakes and they'd all start dancing. Snake charmer. Okay, I feel like that's what I want to title this reading. Snake charmer. Don't let me forget that. Okay, very interesting because there's... What freaking superhero movie have you watched where they don't go directly into the darkness and deal with all of the shit that's magnetized to them now that they became they have superpowers? Okay, like it's cliche to say, but we do have to be reminded when we're in the thick of it and there's all this pain going on around us, right? I'm also being guided to say it's like you could have quit something. Like say you quit cigarettes or drinking or something like that. Quit anything, social media. Something happens. Let's take social media, for example. You quit social media. You're however long without it. Something happens and you're like, oh, I want to get on social media so I can see all the news about this. Before you know it, everyone you know, you're looking at it on social media. Everyone's on there. And you're like, wait, should I just be back on here even though I had a boundary and I know that I need to like not be on it? Same thing with cigarettes, whatever it is. It's like the test that always comes when you decide to change is, okay, but your peers are doing it. Are you going to be like everyone else? Like everyone else is doing it. Okay. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to talk plainly to your soul who knows and wanted this message and is weaving this message through me to you. Our spirits are connected in that unity consciousness and our souls are connecting here, me as a messenger and you as someone who is contemplating their path. Okay. So again, like I'm not here to feed delusion. I talk straight. I am a messenger. You do with the energy what it is you choose. But I'm telling you about the energy. Okay. So it's up to you at the end of the day. It's reminding me of like Jenny Humphreys' Ascent and Descent in Gossip Girl. It's like she wanted to be herself, but she's tempted all the time to be a part of this like Blair army thing, whatever they call it. It's like, do you have what it takes to stand true and be you and be authentic? It's like if you make music, stop putting out the stuff. Stop putting out just the covers. Put out your music, your art. Let the snakes come and look at it. The Raven. The Raven with all that being said, do this because you're being closely watched at this time. If you were your higher self and you are, but I'm saying like if you were just your higher self and you weren't also a human who's listening to a YouTube video, to remind yourself of your higher self, you would be looking down at you with such expectation that you do, such unconditional love, but such expectation that you remain integral with the desires inside of you, right? And so I'm getting this message of like the spirit world being very close. And so you could be super spiritual or becoming super spiritual, and even ravens or crows, when you hear them or see them, are just reminders for you to get back to work. Try again. There's something a lot about trying again. Don't be scared to start over and try again. And don't be scared to see something through. You don't have to convince yourself to start over and try again when you're just meant to see something through, okay? Sometimes you're meant to, you got to learn through trial and error, right? When I see the raven in this deck specifically talks about getting crafty with things. Okay, so it reminds me, it's like when you're making a piece of jewelry, you get to the point where you're putting all the little clasps on it so you can put it on. Okay, sometimes you make something and the clasp is just shit quality and the whole thing breaks. And so you learn through trial and error, oh, I need to invest in stronger hardware. But don't let the fact that it broke make you give up on the entire dream. Like, what? No. Get crafty. Start again. You're in a time of transition and you have to get, it's like someone, and if it's not a physical product, it's like it could be a class or a piece of music. How many demos and takes do you take before you're like, this is the one, it's perfect, all I's are dotted, T's are checked? It's like proofreading a book. It's like, okay, how many times have you read it now? But for some reason you read that one little space, you can't help but feeling like it's bland. Okay, it's probably bland, change it, okay, and then get it looking even better. All right. The clock does not stop ticking. Okay, there's something about that. Time is a gift. Time is a gift. Use it wisely. And that's not to say resting is not an active thing. The state of rest is active, okay guys? But for some of you, you're feeling like you're halfway along, but it's like someone who gets a new house, or like rents a new apartment, but the door hinges are like shitty. It's like, don't throw the whole apartment out. Like, you're not leaving this holiday where you got here. Just go replace them. Okay, what if the ones you bought don't work? Okay, now you just realize I need to get better ones. I'm gonna go to a different store. Okay, it's not about... It's like having a kid. Like, you don't mess up one day or have one meltdown and then give up on the whole dang thing. You pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Let's see what this is. It's like some of you guys take the small little failures as it's like it's a psychological thought pattern, but it's like, oh, I must have made the wrong decision somewhere along the way. Oh, I must have taken a wrong turn and that's why nothing works out for me, and I must have been misled or misguided. Be aware of this thought voice. Because that's going to be your worst enemy at the end of the day. It's never going to be these snakes. These snakes are only fans. Okay, this energy that's your own self holding you back, that's what's going to get you down. Okay. Some of you guys are moving through a deep thing of shame right now. Some of you guys tried something out, something new, and realized it wasn't for you. And you're feeling like you were misled or misguided. And some of us are just, like some of us are simply just accepting that we have been misguided by our own unconsciousness. Maturity is to just realize, take responsibility, and do the best you can with what you know. Don't let this tank you into some past spiral of like, it always happens like this for me. Okay? This could be a part of your literal human design, okay? I feel like we're going to all learn how important human design is moving forward as we all continue to ascend. But when you really know your human design, it's like you can see in your chart, oh, I learned through effing things up. I become the best version of myself through so much trial and error and whatnot. Or, whoa, rest is so important and I've been pushing away rest. Like, you can get all of these different revelations on different levels, but when you see your actual chart, and I recommend using Maya Mechanics, MAIA Mechanics, you gotta have compassion for yourself. Like, you can't be like, oh, I have to push out the part of me that is a victim. No, you just have to learn to inform that part of you, create this space that is a healing space and not an inflammatory space, and compartmentalize the victim from you, from the victor, and learn how to step into each role in a healthy way. Okay, it's not about, like, I'm not over here with some spiritual bypassing shit of like ascend to the higher realms and like what I was saying earlier, guys, light and only light. It's not that. It's this came through in another reading the other day and I couldn't remember the actual word, but it's like I feel like it's bodhicitta. Yeah, bodhicitta. I'm probably not saying it right, but I learned about this in hypno school. It's a mind that is motivated by compassion and wisdom to achieve enlightenment. Okay, it talks about, and my teacher specifically taught it to me, a mind that does not arise to anger. It doesn't mean that the opportunity is not presented to you, but to have deep compassion subconsciously inside of you helps you from arising to this place where, again, like I was saying, like the body is controlling the mind at this point. Okay? We see it when it comes to sex, drugs, alcohol, everything, work. What does your heart want? Do you even stop to ask it? Let's get one more card for you guys. Look, this just came up when I looked up bodhicitta. How is bodhicitta practiced? It says, one practice is to think of someone whose suffering you care about and whose happiness is important to you. What was I saying, guys, about it may not be you guys going through pain, but you're watching people around you or the world go through it, and it's like, how do you deal with this? Well, make it into a meditation. Create a container, let's say 15 minutes. However much time you have, could be an hour, it could be 3 hours, I don't know you. But set a container and do it there and then move on. It's the compartmentalization thing is coming through. It's like sometimes we have to work overtime depending on who we are and what we've been through to get our minds to work for us and not against us. the card fraudulent just came through. I gotta sit with this, guys. We're gonna listen to this freaking tuning fork. This misled, misguided thing could have been because a fraudulent person or entity, business, whatever it could have been, actually misled and misguided you, and you're feeling like, what the heck? The fraudulent, it's nothing new being added to the reading. It's like what I was talking about with that second house in Sagittarius, okay, and that deception with the Venus Lucifer energy, okay, guys. It's like you have to hold the space for being the victim of the situation, but also being victorious over it, okay? When you realize you've been misled and misguided and there's some sort of fraudulent relationship or exchange, you have to go through a grieving period, because there's going to be a lot of confusion. So you have to honor the fact that you might be a little confused, you might have anger, you're likely to have anger actually. Prioritize compassion, prioritize healthy expression of these things. And just as much as you can, have compassion for yourself and don't gaslight yourself of like, oh, this kind of stuff always happens to me, or whatever, or like I'm bound or I'm cursed. Like don't go there. Okay? The bottom of the deck says sound healings. That's why I whipped out this tuning fork to just end this reading for you guys. It's hard when you've been misled or felt misled or misguided to trust others, or even trust yourself, recovering from it. Okay, but everything is just a part of your story at the end of the day. This did not get you down. All it was just that tide rolling out and showing you what was underneath the surface, what was brought up in the storm, okay? That's all that this is. The fact that the sound healing card is on the bottom shows me that you guys, like I said, are the snake charmer. You're meant to prioritize such a level of peace that it doesn't matter what room you walk into. No one could take that away, okay? So remember that all the messages that came through in this reading here today are here to inform you, and only you can do what is best for you with the information that has been provided and come through. And maybe some of it resonated and some of it didn't. Doesn't matter. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in another reading. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.